I startle awake, but I'm quickly calmed by cool hands upon my face, a soothing touch that eases me back into the waking world. Finn's eyes are wide and bright in the dull candlelight, and I've never been more grateful to see him. He stares at me for a moment, his lips parted, and then he pulls me close, one hand cupping the line of my jaw in a heartbreakingly tender touch.
You're awake. I've been so worried.
No. I curl my fingers in the fabric of his shirt, and he feels good, solid, and it finally dawns me that I'm awake. Alive. The sudden press of his mouth is a welcome shock, his lips tilted up into a soft smile against my own. He makes a quiet sound, one of relief, the kiss achingly sweet, but still somehow urgent. When he pulls away, he regards me with such fondness that my heart aches. Then, as if he regretted putting distance between us, he kisses me again. This kiss is rougher, a little hotter, and I gasp against his lips when he licks his way into my mouth. He pulls back again, leaving me wanting more, tension humming thick between us.
I missed that. Missed you.
No. His voice is stupidly raspy, and he poorly stifles a smug grin when I shiver at the sound of it.
I've lost too many people I care about.
Oh.
The universe has been cruel to me. But I knew you wouldn't go out so easy.
Finn is just so awesome. It'd take more than a flesh wound to take me from you. His mattress is soft beneath me, his sheets warm, and I couldn't possibly feel any safer, despite the persistent dread that swirls in the pit of my stomach. Not wanting to disrupt the atmosphere, but why does he even have a bed? Like, he's a vampire, he doesn't sleep, so is it just for spending time with others? He smiles, his thumb brushing over the apple of my cheek. Never heard that expression. How long have I been out?
2 days. Ezra did an excellent job of healing you, but we just couldn't get you to wake up.
As he speaks, my hand unconsciously reaches to press over my ribs, to the place where blood had soaked my palms, where the thing had struck me. I feel no pain, not even an ache, and only one thing plagues my mind. Is it really dead? He smiles, shifting a little closer to me.
You did it. And you were incredible.
I suspect I'm going to meet some resistance in making him take some of the credit, but having him at my side undoubtedly made killing that thing possible. We did it. Together. Another smile, more playful this time. Very well, but I merely assisted. You're forced to be reckoned with. And that thing didn't stand a fucking chance. The bad guy is gone, and now you can finally rest. Bad guy. I think about what James said. You killed him. Him. I have a quiet laugh, and I wonder if I truly have gone mad this time. Conversations with the voice in my head were bad enough, but now he's taking me on a cryptic tone down memory lane too. I don't think that the creature was our true enemy, not even close, just a pawn. Finn narrows his eyes at me, and I wonder if my thoughts are loud enough for him to hear. What do you mean? I'm not sure if you'd believe me if I told you. He quirks his brow, tilting his head. How about you try me? I take a deep breath, his touch soothing me. I had a dream, I think, maybe something more, but James was there. We spoke and he showed me memories, his own and mine as well. I saw the academy, my academy. It felt surreal, like I was really there. James took me through the initiation. I'd forgotten everything, any memory of it wiped. I swallowed thickly, staring deep into his eyes, gauging his reaction at the words spilled from my mouth. The ritual, I take a deep breath. They fed us blood, vampire, demon, lichen, and fae. That's what made me what I am. Finn doesn't falter or flinch. His unnatural stillness doesn't usually bother me, but at this moment I need a reaction from him. Something to tell me everything is going to be okay, even if it doesn't feel that way right now. Then he takes my face in his hands, his gaze fierce.
Nothing could ever make you less human. Do you understand? But I'm sorry they did that to you. They have no right.
Oh, and yeah, indeed they didn't. I laugh, unsurprised that he could still be so right about what I'm thinking. I curl my fingers around his wrists, holding his hands to my face, leaning into his touch. I believe it will simply take some time to process. His frustration is palpable, mirroring mine. I saw Harry and James together. It was almost as if James was trying to tell me something by showing me pieces of his memories of them together. James wrote Harry a letter that night he died, and they argued prior to that. James kept asking him to think about what he was doing. I got the impression he holds a lot of guilt over what happened, and he told me that he should have killed the creature when he had the chance. Something made him hesitate, and that wasn't like James. Not the slightest. Like most hunters, he always knew that hesitation means death. I nod, remembering James' words, his disappointment in himself. The thing that killed him, or the person that killed him, he knew them. That's why he hesitated. That's why he died. Finn drags his iron palm over his face, disbelief clouding his features. We sit in silence for a moment, and eventually Finn breaks it with some good news. Why, you rested. The clan rescued Fiero. It went well, but they haven't even bothered to come look for him. Don't you find that strange? That they would lose a supposedly valuable prisoner and not give a shit. They know where he is. They are not complete morons. They could very well be onto us.
They could, and after what you've just told me, I can't help but think that's why they held him. To make more of whatever nasty concoction they fed you. To make more hunters.
A kind of mutated hunters, right? I cannot be certain, but everything James said makes me believe that it runs so much deeper than that. Surely they haven't gathered the blood in such a violent method all this time. Surely they have deals or something. I feel like it runs so much deeper than that. Then a thought. It has been around for centuries, since before the Enforcers or the Hunter Order was even a concept. Do you remember the first hunters? He averts his gaze, his eyes suddenly sad, and I get the horrible feeling that I've said something wrong. I do, yes. I was in Alkar on Revelation Day, where it all began.
I'm not sure if they were true hunters then, or even when the Order was truly formed, but they were just normal humans. They fought, and most of them died. Maybe that's why they sought to find something to make them stronger.
Because they wouldn't stand a chance against you, otherwise we wouldn't. He smiles sadly, shaking his head. No, you wouldn't. But they still put up a bloody good fight. That's why Levi and I fled and came here. I find myself flinching at the mention of Finn's sire's name. What about me? Could you tell there was something wrong with me? Quickly, Finn dips his head to catch my gaze, his brow deeply furrowed.
It's always been obvious that you're different. Normal humans don't have your ability, stamina, and all the other little quirks that make you you.
Oh.
Even then, we've never thought of you as monsters. There's never been even the slightest inkling that you were created in that way. That should tell you all you need to know about what you are. There is nothing wrong with you. You are still human. Every bit of you.
That's a very cute and wholesome answer to that, even though it's quite a hard question to answer to. I know that he speaks the truth, that Finn would never lie to me about such a thing, but it doesn't make me feel any better about what I've learned about myself. It's a start. My mind swims, and the urgency I feel to fix this almost suffocates me. Finn snaps me from a momentary panic, taking my chin between his forefinger and thumb, and urging me to look at him.
Tomorrow. You deserve to rest a little longer, wouldn't you say? You will still save the day. I promise you that.
I suspect I have little choice of the way he's looking at me as anything to go by. As I dare to allow myself to relax a little, I look closer and notice macabre petals of purple blooming underneath Finn's eyes. Something that vampires certainly shouldn't have, unless... Then I remember. The creature striking him, the glimpse of a claw mark under his shirt. Where is it? I reach out and Finn flinches, his palm pressed firmly over his chest, the other curling around my wrist. I'm fine. He's lying. I scoff, pulling my hand free of his careful grip and fixing him with a stern gaze. I try again, and this time he lets me unbutton his shirt, and I peel the dark fabric off his broad shoulders and let it fall off to the floor so I can study the wound. The shirt doesn't have buttons as far as I can see. Maybe on the backside? Ooh. Yeah, he very hot. Simp. Anyway, I'm still wondering a bit how he could have gotten that wound with his shirt still intact. It's shallow, but something has quite clearly stopped it from healing as quickly as it should, if at all. The skin that surrounds it is red and angry, and the dark fissures are stark against his pale skin. Why didn't Ezra heal you? Because I wanted him to heal you. He was so weak from the ritual, and he'd happily make himself sick expending the rest of his energy, so... You didn't tell him? I didn't tell him. That thing. It was no normal creature. You could get sick. Or he is already. He hums quietly, contemplating my statement. Finn is not stupid, and I know that he's aware of the implications of leaving such a wound untended, but apparently his stubbornness knows no bounds when it comes to keeping me safe. I flatten my palm over the place where his heart should beat, and he smiles sadly and takes my hand. His skin is so soft against my own, and without hesitation, he's lacing our fingers together and squeezing tightly. Yeah, I would love to touch this chest too. Understandable. The candles that surround us flicker gently, and I almost forget where we are as I watch the way that light dances across his sharp features. Those golden eyes are bright and disarming as they meet my own, and I've learned many things about vampires in my time as a hunter, but even a fool could deduce what Finn requires. You need to feed. It's a statement, not a question, and his expression quickly shifts into something stoic. It was truly only a matter of time before this came up, the reality of dating a vampire. It stopped hunting when I met Ezra, though I had little choice being bedridden after my little incident. He glances down at his prosthetic, the magic flows through it, pulsing as he spreads and closes his fingers, turning his palm in what I've come to notice is a habit of his.
After he saved me, I could no longer bear the thought of hurting someone like him. He changed my life, saved my life. He agreed to allow me to feed on him, so that I wouldn't have to seek that elsewhere and risk hurting anyone.
I was part of them being so close, I guess. He looks at me expectantly, almost as if he's waiting for me to tear his hand from his to run, but I stay.
Witch's blood is potent. It keeps us sustained for a lot longer than any normal human would, which means I didn't need to feed that often. But I haven't fed for months, and with everything that's been going on recently, I need to feed. But I'm not leaving your side.
Well, that leaves us with one option. I fear the words running off my tongue before I finished my next thought. Tell me what it's like.
What it feels like?
I nod. For you. He swallows thickly, almost as the action pains him. Like thinking about it has made him realize just how hungry he is.
The way I feel when I feed on someone I'm close with it's something euphoric. Like, in that moment, nobody else exists but them and I. I can feel everything they feel, everything they want. like we've become one.
Sounds very intimate. Heat boils in the pit of my stomach, spiking high when Finn's eyes drop down to my parted lips, then my throat. As if compelled, I reach up and carefully cup my hands over his jaw, brushing my thumb over a sharp cheekbone. I watch as his eyes darken, with the most subtle of shifts, but I see it. I committed his features to memory long before tonight. I want that with you. I want you to feed on me. He bites his lips, his fingers twitching against my own as he watches me intently. He's probably waiting for me to falter, to take back my words, but I mean it.
You really trust me? After what you saw in the forest?
I do trust him, implicitly, and it terrifies me. I do, more than anyone. Please, Finn, let me help you. He smiles, and the flash of his razor-sharp fangs that I'm granted sends a shiver rolling down my spine. The sight of them is strangely thrilling, a confirmation that the fear that has been so ingrained in me is long dead. It would have also been interesting to ask him, like, what's it like for the other person, the person he's feeding on, but I guess we experienced that. We unconsciously edge closer to one another, the mattress creaking under the shift of our bodies. I feel a shocking coil of heat low in my stomach as Finn swipes his thumb over my lips, making me shiver. I'm practically swaying, and it's terrifying how powerful he is. At any moment, he could unmake me with such a simple touch. He continues his ministrations, running his forefinger along the column of my throat, and I tilt my head in invitation, exposing my neck and telegraphing my surrender. It feels strange to realize how willing I am to expose myself to him like this, to become the hunted, rather than the hunter, for once in my life.
I just need to hear you say it again. To say you really want this.
Consent is important. I'm hyper-aware of the weight of this moment, holding my breath as I take his iron hand in mine, guiding his fingers to the buttons of my shirt. He narrows his eyes, his smile deadly, and he slowly begins unbuttoning and pushing the fabric off my shoulders. Take whatever you need, it's yours. He groans quietly, leaning in to catch my lips with his own in the briefest of kisses, before he begins his descent, running his nose along the edge of jaw and breathing me in. His lips are pressed close to the barred arc of my throat, inspecting my offering. I've never felt so exposed, like a frayed nerve, and at the same time, I've never wanted anything more. To be marked, to be his. He litters my skin with reverent kisses, so gentle in his build-up, and then I feel his fangs gently graze my flesh. His fingers are tight where they grip my waist, almost as if he's holding back. Please. He roars softly, the whites of his eyes shifting to black in a blink, and then he bites me. The pain is quick, hot and blinding, and the penetration is fleetingly resistant. There's bliss, and then there's the euphoria that its Finn's teeth nestle deep into my skin. He cradles my head, his fingers tangling into my hair. It's an intimate hold, my body crooning in approval as I arc against him. The ache fades almost as fast as it blossomed, and my pulse flickers wildly as he saps the blood from my veins. We fall back against the mattress, our bodies seem tight as I bow helplessly against him. I've never felt more alive, and it's like I can feel his every thought, his every desire. There's a perfect lining chorus of my name playing on loop in his mind. Ethan, Ethan, Ethan. I moan, the noise breaking as it falls from my lips, and suddenly I can truly feel him everywhere. He pulls away faster than I expected, and strangely, I almost missed the pain. He soothed the marks with his tongue, lapping up any strange droplets that coat my overheated skin. When he sits back, his eyes meet mine, and the sight of him snatches the breath from my lungs. His lips parted on a breath, and he slowly sucks crimson from his fangs. Blood. My blood. Ooh, more hot vampire artwork. Gone, the purple beneath his eyes, and before me sits Finn in all of his perfection.
You taste like heaven.
He kisses me, the faint taste of copper warm upon his tongue as it eagerly glides against my own. Then he's covering me and my legs eagerly wind around his waist. I can feel him hard against me, pressing closer, closer. I drag my hands down his bare chest. I register that his wound is healed, nothing but a memory. My senses are thrown into overdrive, everything seeming that little bit brighter. Kind of bit like being high, I guess. My fingers trace every perfect dip and curve of his muscles, every previously unnoticeable scar, wanting to know the story behind each perfect sliver of imperfect skin, to know who marked him and why. Then he says my name, and it feels like the world has stopped turning. Ethan. Yeah. I think this is a really nice moment to do this. Really intimate, really close. He watches me, hovering over me, but careful to give me space while I process where I am, what just happened. Finn. A palpable tension hums between us, an unspoken desire that we both seem to feel. I hope that the way I'm looking at him can convey what I want, what I crave, and the way he presses closer to me tells me that it might. He takes both of my hands, lacing our fingers together and raising my arms, pinning them above my head against the mattress. He places his lips to my ear, and in that low, whiskey-smooth tone,
Tell me exactly what you want.
You. I want you. With a quiet growl, Finn slowly drags his hands down my arms, over my ribs, stomach, waist, hips. He hooks his thumbs in the waistband of my underwear, and the sound of the shredding of fabric is deeply gratifying. We are finally skin to skin, and Finn kisses me for what feels like an eternity. His hands roam on my body endlessly, and I respond to his talented ministrations like wildfire. It takes his time to make sure I'm comfortable, ready, and his next words are a whisper muffled against my lips.
So beautiful.
You're too. My arms are still obediently raised over my head, and I carefully study him for a quiet moment. When I look at Finn, I see someone that I trust. Someone who will be there for me, no matter what. Always. Life is so uncertain, and yet, in Finn, I found something solid, something real. Someone that...
I love you.
Aww. He smiles. Likely because my heart is trying to escape my chest, and the bastard can hear. He took the word right out of my mouth. Exhale sharply, smiling when he presses his forehead to mine, basking in his presence. I love you too. He kisses me again, softer this time, but quickly transformed into something hungry and urgent. He moves to my throat, kissing the place where he'd marked me. His eyes drag up and down the length of my body in a slow, claiming caress. Maybe thinking about other things.
I want to make you feel good.
I hum, watching the powerful shift and play of his muscles under cold, pale skin. Yes. Then all I can see is him smiling down at me. His fangs are sharp and his eyes bright. The candles that light the room flicker and fade out, and we are left in darkness. Him and me, our bodies joined as one, his name falling from my lips like a prayer until I don't need to speak anymore. Can't speak. My pleas for more caught in my throat, but he can hear me, and I can hear him. The room is deathly silent apart from the sound of our breathing, and the soft creak of the mattress, my hands trembling against his back, fingertips digging in and clawing at his pale skin. There's no space wasted between us, Finn's movement unhurried, and savoring every little hitch of my breath, every flutter of my lashes, and the way his name rolls off my tongue over and over like my favorite prayer, a benediction. It morphs from breathless to chaotic in a mere instant, both of us clutching at one another with a violent need that borders on devotion. I move my hand over his spine, his neck, pushing my fingers into his raven hair as messy strands snarl about my fingertips. I tug gently, and it makes him shudder. The stutter in a steady rhythm, a revelation, one that makes me gasp against his parted lips. His fangs are sharp against my tongue. He pushes me closer with every press of his body, every roll of his hip, and with every whispered affirmation, I step a little closer to the edge. It coils at the base of my spine, my toes curling, back aching. I'm on the edge of a cliff, dangling on the precipice, and all I need is...
That's it. Let go.
And then I'm free falling. I love you. I love you. I love you.